The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here he is, Brandon.
All right, welcome back to the Brandon Peters Show and the ongoing 60s Batman at 60 series. And I, as I and a guest, usually travel through the inaugural season on the phenomenon of 1966. Joining me today and returning for the first time in what I would like to call forever, Danielle Sepulveres.
Hi. It does feel like forever. And also, thank you for remembering how to pronounce my last name.
I won't forget. I know how to pronounce my guest name. When I do like Godzilla movies or movies from other countries, I make up for it in the murdering I do of those names.
That's fair.
I try my best, but
I've been at this job. I started a new job back sort of the end of last summer. So it's now like, 7 months that I'm into this job. And I said my last name out loud the other day and someone goes, "Oh my God, this entire time I've been saying your last name wrong in my head." And I was like, "Oh my God, 7 months of that." And she's like, I still feel like I'm going to say it wrong because like I've been thinking it's this way for so long, but I'm like, listen, that's been my whole life. So
Gotcha. Like I remember I wanted to get that with the first time you were on the show. I wanted to get that right because I was like, it looks like I might say it this way, but then I was digging around trying to find somewhere where somebody would like, you'd be on a YouTube or something and someone would say your name. And then I think there was one where you actually said it and I was like, that's it. And that was not what I thought. So there you go. I got it. Yeah. Got it right the first time. Got it right this time. I'm pretty sure the last time you were on was when we talked about Greg's movie. And and then you were supposed to be on another time but had to cancel. And and since then, But we've kept in touch a bit. So it's not like I was strangely, but you helped me out with some New York stuff when I went on a family trip there last year.
Right. I forgot. Did you guys have a really good time, I hope?
I had a great time. It was one of my favorite trips. My daughter and I had a great time. My son and my wife were like kind of over it. They like enjoyed, but they were like ready to go home. My daughter and I were like, wow, man, we could stay here for a while.
Yeah.
So,
well, some people love the city.
Mhm.
I mean, I grew to love the city because I grew up right outside of it. And I remember when people, like my senior year of high school and everyone was like looking at colleges. And so many people are like, "Oh my God, I want to go to NYU, Columbia, or I want to go to Boston. I want to go." And I remember thinking like, "Oh, I do not want to go to a city. Like, the city is like too much for me." And I wanted to go to like what felt like a real campus. And then while I was in college, we would like sometimes take like trips back up and like go out in the city. And I was like, wait, the city's awesome. Like, why did I not realize like how awesome the city is? But sometimes I feel like it just, hits you at different ages when
Yeah, I agree. My first trip there was when I turned 18 years old. I went there after I graduated high school, and this was summer of 2000. And it was cool. It was awesome, but I was overwhelmed. Like I was like prices and just the busyness. And I was like, I always had that memory because the only times I've been to New York since that, I've been to Saratoga Springs and I've been to the Finger Lakes Community College area. Those are the only places I've been in the state. And I went this time and I was like, oh, I can handle it because I had lived in Los Angeles for 4 years when, in my 20s, I lived there for 24 years. And then I come back to New York and I'm like, oh, I'd be okay driving here. I thought like when I went there in 2000, I was like, whew, I would never drive a car there. And now I'm looking at it now, I'm like, I don't know if it's just less people drive, but I was like, oh, this driving's not bad. I love walkable cities.
yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the subway.
Walkable cities are the best.
I'm a subway person. So I was like, oh yeah, these subways getting there. And so many cities should have that. Like we in Indianapolis should have a connecting subway to Cincinnati, to Louisville, to Chicago, Champaign. Like we should be able to get there. But
I know. I was just when I was just in Florida. So are you familiar with the Bright Line train? I feel like they have one in California too. I don't know from where to where, but It's, it's like an track basically where, because it's not like an NJ Transit or like a
Hmm.
Tri-Rail or, one of those. It's legit like beautiful stations. There's like a first class and a
Oh, okay.
coach class and or I'm
Ooh.
sorry, they call it premium and coach.
Oh,
And I discovered it back in like 2022. And back then it only ran from like Miami to Fort Lauderdale to West Palm. I think like those were the three stops. And
okay.
like now there's a few more on that line, but it also now goes all the way to Orlando. So
Oh.
people like take it and go to Disney.
Hmm.
And like go check into their hotels and like don't even drive to Disney. Which must be really nice, honestly. But yeah, I've taken it. The first reason that I had to take it was because I was in Miami for a work trip and my flight got canceled. And it wasn't weather, it was just, hey, your flight's canceled.
Oh.
And I had to get home because I had jury duty and I was panicking because there was like nothing out of Miami. And then I realized, like, oh, let me look at Fort Lauderdale or West Palm. There's, two other airports. I'll just have to Uber there because I was like, well, my company's gonna have to pay for this because I
Right.
gotta
Yeah.
get home. And the client site that I was on, they were like, "Oh, do you know the Brightline train?" And I was like, "Never heard of it." And they're like, "It might be easier than taking Uber, or it might be more cost effective than taking Uber." And so I looked it up, and I got like the last seat on the last flight out of West Palm, like on the Sunday night.
Oh
So
man.
I took the train up, and I was like, "This is delightful." And I had left for the train station kind of at the last minute because I'm like, oh, it's probably like Penn Station. I'm not going to want to sit there for longer than, like 10-15 minutes. And
Yeah.
I got there and it's this beautiful station with, and I bought the premium ticket. So they had like food and drinks and a lounge. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally missed out because I only have like 6 minutes to sit here before I have to get on the train. But yeah, and I just, when I was there, last week I took it again because I went to the World Baseball Classic down in
Hmm.
Miami for a day. And yeah, it was like super easy. I got on like a 9:30 a.m. train, saw a noon baseball game down in Miami, and then hopped on a 6:45 train home after walking around Miami all afternoon and was back in West Palm by like, I don't know, 8:30. It
Yeah.
was a great day.
Yeah. Trains need a comeback, United States.
Yes,
Trains need a
I
comeback.
know. I felt like I was in Europe briefly where everything is like seamless and running on time and clean and well maintained and yeah, it's not like riding NJ Transit New Jersey. No offense to New Jersey. I love my home state of New Jersey, but my God, the trains are terrible.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, I don't really like the trains in Chicago when I've been there a bunch. We do have like a train in here that goes to Chicago. It goes to Charlottesville, Virginia. I think it might hit New York or something. We got one old school train, not like a subway car or anything, but it's kind of a nice. I always think of, oh yeah, we can do that, and I look at the hours. I'm like, I could drive there faster. What the hell? So
That's what makes no sense is like I've looked at the train schedule and been like, oh, okay, like I can hop on this one. And then I'm like looking at it versus driving and I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna take me 90 minutes to take the train, or if I drive, it's 45 minutes. So like why would I take the train?
right,
And I want to take the train. I don't want to
yeah.
drive like like more than half the time, but it's like then also again if I'm going someplace by myself and it's like, oh, if the train gets delayed or if the train gets stuck, which happens a lot, especially because they're doing all this work on it because the World Cup is coming this summer, which
Hmm.
I cannot wait to see what half of Europe has to say about our train system this summer.
Yeah, Europe does it well, but
Hmm.
we just can't believe in things that happen on the other side of the ocean for some
Oh
reason.
my God, I
So,
know it's terrible. It's
um,
yeah.
one more quick thing before we get into this Bat-tastic episode. How are the Mets going to be this year? How you feeling about them?
Oh, I'm I'm gonna go with optimism because I have to. This early in the year, I went to spring training. They're young, they're fun. And it's almost an entirely brand new group of guys. There's, like three or four like core dudes that have been there for the last few years, but not many guys with a lot of tenure. I genuinely miss Edwin Diaz. Like, it's like it really hit me during the spring training game when
Hmm.
they were, bringing out bullpen guys like for the end of the game, and I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna see Edwin Diaz in a Mets uniform again, and it really hit me hard. And I mean, obviously feel that way about Pete too, but Pete really wanted to leave.
Hmm.
So it's like a little different for me because like Pete wanted his 5 years and his money, and I'm really happy for him that Baltimore gave it to him and he got it because he deserves it. But I had already sort of resigned myself to the fact that like he wasn't staying. Like 2025 was not a good season. I mean, he had a great season, but 2025 overall for the team was not a good season. And he basically like as soon as the season was over, he basically said he was opting out. So I was like, oh, he's gone. He's not us. He's not part of us anymore. So that was sad. But like Edwin, I really thought that they were gonna get him to stay. So now obviously I have to root for the Dodgers downfall, like hardcore downfall.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, that's exciting. Baseball wise, I'm a Reds fan, but I don't hardcore pay attention to it.
Okay.
I like check to keep up, make sure how they're doing and
Mhm.
stuff. And if they're, I watching games is a bit tough nowadays. I don't live in Cincinnati and I don't
Yeah.
subscribe to FanDuel, but
Mhm.
if they make the playoffs or something, I'll catch that. But that was my first favorite team, and they won the World Series like the first or second year that I started watching them.
Oh
I
my
was like, oh
God.
wow, that's amazing. And then they've been had good teams since, but like yeah, we got Griffey and that was a bummer. But I did,
Yeah.
speaking of those Dodgers, I did adopt them as an LA team when I was there, when I was living
Yeah.
there, because I got like quarter season tickets where you got like a quarter of the season
Yep.
with for
I've
a
done
couple
that.
years.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
fun.
and my friend John Roca and his friend Edgar, and we went for 2 years doing that, and that was fun. Though when Reds came to town, I would not wear anything Dodgers, so it would be back to the Reds because I didn't really like any of the other LA teams. Like I couldn't do
Yeah.
it. I was like, nah, but the Dodgers, they were fun at that time. But now
And the Ravine is a cool, I mean, it's a pain in the ass to get to,
Mhm.
but it's a cool stadium, a lot of
Cool, good,
history.
good crowd. I like their
Yeah.
crowd. They throw home run balls back.
Yeah.
Then they start
Yeah.
chanting throwback, except Ken Griffey Jr., the only
Ah,
person they didn't throw back. And then
yeah.
actually, I was there at when
Respect.
All-Star lineup was announced one time I was there at a game, and they announced Ken Griffey Jr. and he got a huge applause. I'm like, okay, he
Yeah.
just really
He's
likable guy. That
just
was
universally beloved. Yeah, gotta love
yeah,
Ken Griffey Jr. That's like
yeah.
the only baseball card I own is like his Topps All-Star rookie card.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have all the only baseball cards. I have all my. I think I still have all my Barry Larkin cards, including my autographed rookie card of his, because that was my favorite baseball player of all time. I
Yeah,
was all about the
nice.
Barry. So,
Love
um,
it.
but yeah, I feel you when the players come and go. There's different vibes of it with like
Hmm.
Pacers. That's my huge follow and hardcore with
Hmm.
that. But like it's different when like we had our center Miles Turner signed with the Bucks this past year,
Hmm.
which was so I pay attention to make sure
Oh,
the Bucks are doing bad and that he's not doing well. But then on the
yeah.
other hand, Benedict Mathurin, who we just traded to the Clippers, and kind of we had to because we needed a center.
Hmm.
He's great, but he doesn't fit our team. But you kind of need it. But I pay attention to Clippers games to make sure he's doing all right.
Right.
That's so it's two different vibes of how guys leave your team.
I
So.
totally get it. And the Pacers seem really fun. Like I said, like the handful of times I've been in, Indianapolis,
Hmm.
like over the years, at least two times that I was there, like playoff games were going on and the Pacers were playing. So like
Hmm.
everywhere I went was so high energy and fun because everyone
Oh
was
yeah.
watching like at, sports bars. Um, and I was normally, I feel like one was a work trip and the other one was probably like one of the times I was there for Kurt Vonnegut or something. Or maybe they were both work trips, but I just remember like running out to like get something to eat to go back to my hotel because I was exhausted, and then
Hmm.
like being sort of coerced to stay because it was such a fun atmosphere. And I was like, "Hey, go Pacers!" Because like I don't follow basketball, so it was just like a fun ambiance to be around.
Yeah, this past year when they went to the finals, it was just nuts around here. It was great, and I'm there when they're bad and when they're good. And like
Hmm.
this year's not been good because Tyrese Halliburton's been out, and we've had a lot of injuries at the front of the season. So now we're just like, let's get to the draft, and then next year we'll be back to the finals. But last year,
Yep.
I've been in there. I always tell the story. My wife, this is out to hardcore where my wife and I, back before we had kids, she worked at a place, an ad agency that had season tickets, and uh, we would always take them because it was during a time. It was before they drafted Paul George and came back, but like it
Okay.
was during this dead time, and it was a Tuesday night against the Toronto Raptors. And these seats were always like I think they're typically 10 rows up from behind the basket or whatever, and it was an ice storm here, and we're like, fuck it, we'll just go. And we were in the building. They claimed thousands of people were there, but I bet it was like 100 or so. And we were in there, empty building, Tuesday night against the Toronto Raptors. There, like nobody's as hardcore as us,
That is
and
hardcore,
and
100%.
you had to be careful what you shouted because they would hear, like you'd get heard. Like if I
Yeah.
mean, it was pin
Yeah.
drop, like because it was. I think there was an emergency out to not be on the roads, but we were like, we're going on the roads. We'll just drive really slow home and everything.
That's
So,
really funny.
but that's how hardcore we've met a lot of players and stuff like that. So, and
That's fun.
things. So, but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, sports follows are good, people. They are. I know the whole. I live in this world where I'm huge movie nerd, all this stuff, but like, you hate sports. I'm like, you don't have to. You can like.
You can like it all. I know that's my thing too, is like I have so many like film geek friends
Mhm.
and they like don't know anything about sports
Yeah.
and I'll sit there and like you could talk about The Godfather all day long with them,
Yeah.
but they're like, oh, baseball's boring. Like I don't care about basketball. Like football, who cares? And I'm just like, I do. Like, I mean, I don't care about all sports. Like I'm obviously a baseball girl,
Yeah.
but I'll go to any live sporting event because it's always a good time.
Yeah.
Like if you like, want to take me to a hockey game or a basketball game, like I'm
Yeah.
gonna go.
Yeah, no, like I when I was living in Los Angeles, it was hard. Like I had my core friends. I had John Roca, I had my friend Rain, and we had a friend Chicago, and we were two Colts fans, a Bears fan, and a Washington fan, and we got together at a place called BJ's Bar and Grill every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. They open,
Watch
and
football.
they eventually because we'd pick our teams to be. We had to be there first to
Yeah.
pick our teams on the screen. And we eventually they started making a secret brunch menu for us
Oh,
because
so
it was
cool.
us and other groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we initially thought we found a place and it ended up being a Steelers bar and nobody wanted to be
Oh,
around Steelers people.
yeah.
And so we would do that every Sunday morning was our ritual. We'd meet up
Yeah.
at BJ's
Hmm.
and check it out. And so like my goodbye when I moved from Los Angeles party was at BJ's during Sunday football for everything. We got
Hmm.
Bazookies and stuff, and like yeah, so we would watch the games there, and it was fun because like
Yeah.
in LA, people are like, "Ew, sport," and I don't know why they
Yeah.
have two NFL teams now. They never have liked any of them before. Football for LA is USC football. That was what it
Yeah.
was, and
Right.
and yeah, so that's what we would do. And then every year, John Roca and I would go. We would see the Clippers versus the Pacers, and the Clippers versus the Wizards because we would watch
Oh,
our
that's
teams. And
fun.
because Laker
Yeah.
tickets were astronomical, even
Of
for
course. Yeah.
same seats we would get would be $200 more for a
That's
Laker game than yeah, it was nuts. So
the
yeah,
Clippers seem more fun than the Lakers anyway.
yeah, and it's also weird because Clippers don't have a lot of homegrown fans. It was like
Yeah.
you go when I go to Pacer games, I had my first away game. Like I kept running into like people were like Pacer, he Pacer. It was like yeah, it was. I was like wow, there's a lot of Pacers fans here. And then I started some fan argued about a call, and I was like no, dude, it was a straight up charge. And again, my friend John Roca grabbed me, pulled me in my seat, goes, you got to remember, dude, you're the away team. Like
Yeah. You're the way too.
I'm
I
like,
know.
I never
That's
watched away games before. That was my first experience. I'm like, oh, that's right. Okay.
yeah. And I've been to so many stadiums like to see the Mets play because I'm trying to like check off as many as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times like when something happens and I'm like, don't yell, don't yell, don't yell. You're by yourself, like in a sea of people who are
Yeah.
fans of the other team. Like, be quiet. Something you just said though reminded me that's one of the things that made all the hotels like crazy sold out one of the times I was in Indianapolis
Hmm.
because the Colts were playing the Steelers.
Okay.
So all these people from Pittsburgh had like road tripped in and were staying
Yep.
in the hotels for the game because I was running into them all over the place. And made it hard to get a table at St. Elmo's or Harry and Izzy's.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I get you. Yeah. That's tough. Yeah, if Harry and Izzy's is busy, you know it's trouble. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
busy place, but like if
Yeah.
that's for the secret for people. Harry Izzy's is St. Elmo's basically, but yeah,
Yes. It's for the overflow of St. Elmo's.
right. Basically, we used to have one out by my house in South Castle, and there's one in the airport now too.
Yes, there is
Which
one in the airport. Yeah, I
yes.
saw it there. But I mean, just one of the things too about Indianapolis, and maybe I shouldn't say this so that it keeps too many people from overrunning it, but like
Mhm.
Indianapolis is like a sneaky good foodie city. And I feel like
Mhm.
not enough people know that. But yeah, Indianapolis has some really, really good restaurants. Every single place I mean, I love Cafe Patachou.
Okay, yeah.
Um, and I love Bluebeard,
Oh, okay.
the Vonnegut themed
So you've been
restaurant.
to Fountain Square.
Yes,
Did
yes,
you
yes,
did you
yes.
see the little place with the rabbit light outside?
Yes,
That's
yes.
so my wife and my sister-in-law opened that place. That's the White
Oh,
Rabbit Cabaret. So
oh
yeah,
my
that
gosh.
I
Okay.
helped build that place.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, that's yeah, my wife and her sister own that place. So yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, so I for the first time in a few years I submitted again to the Kurt Vonnegut Literary Journal. So if they accept the piece that I wrote, then I will come back this year.
All right.
So
All right. If
for the launch. So I will
all right.
let you know.
All right. Yeah, if you're free, give me a call. We'll
I
meet
will.
up. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, let's get into Batman. This has been our
Hmm.
travel sports talk here. It's been good.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. They love it. All right. So
Mhm.
Batman, aside from the show, what's your thoughts on just Batman the character and all that?
So I love Batman. In terms of superheroes, like he was kind of always my favorite amongst like, out of like DC and Marvel. I don't know, like maybe because he's the broody guy versus like Superman and I did love the new Superman movie. I will say more than I expected to because I'm
Hmm.
not really a Superman girl, but um, yeah, I don't know. I love that like, Gotham is New York really and
Hmm.
it's just they always get like a real handsome guy to play Batman like to play Bruce Wayne. Um and it's also me and maybe now it's even like the thought that like, oh my God, could there actually be a billionaire who would do things to benefit society instead of ruining society.
On a previous
Um,
episode, one of my guests said, "We need a Batman billionaire. All of them choose to be Lex Luthor."
yes, exactly. They all choose to be Lex Luthor. And yeah, Bruce Wayne he's hot and, he's got morals, he's got integrity and like, it's loved the same girl forever. Well, no, there's other girls. So including Catwoman, as we'll get into. Um, and yeah, I'm a Batman fan. Like more so movies, like and I've definitely seen these episodes before. Like when I was watching them, I'm like, oh my God, I totally remember this. Julie
Hmm.
Newar, you're so hot. Um, but yeah, like I was more of a Batman movie person than the TV show.
Gotcha, gotcha. So the TV show, what's your history? Did you watch it when you were younger at all, or
I feel like when if it was in one of those blocks that was on like what, Nick at Night or
it was on
not
the Family
um
Channel for a
the
bit, if you remember that?
yes,
Yeah.
maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
And then would catch it because like my dad would be like, oh, Adam West, and because I didn't know who Adam West was.
Hmm.
But one of the things that I was reminded watching it last night too is what's his name is like one of the greatest character actors ever. What's his name? Uh, he plays Felix. Ralph Manza, is that his?
Okay.
I think that's his real name. He's like, he was born in like 1921 and I think he died in the year 2000 and he literally acted up until like a few months before he passed away.
That's right. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and he's Felix on the show, one of her cats. And as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about Ralph Manza. He's been in like a million things. Like
Right.
you just like you hear his voice even like but like not even his face. You're like, oh my God, this guy, he's been like a villain, he's been an old man, he's been like a evil old man, a good old man. Like um so that was a thing because I was like, oh my God, now I want to watch like the Twilight Zone episode that I remember that he's in. Um,
Yes, he was. Yeah, he
yeah.
was in that. He was in. Yeah, yeah. He's got Alfred Hitchcock Presents,
Yeah.
Dragnet, all the way up to like being in Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Seinfeld, The Nanny, Friends. Like
Yeah.
he's everywhere.
He's everywhere. He was in
Yeah.
everything. But you know, what a career that like that's honestly that's the ideal career. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's you know, like but probably before people really started like I don't know. It's like a Steve Buscemi type career. Like
Yeah.
everybody wants Steve Buscemi in everything because he makes everything better.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so the show, yeah, I would say like the show was more of a casual watcher
Gotcha.
over the years, like
Yeah.
when it was around.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. So our first episode is the Perfect Crime with it's an episode where Catwoman is stealing these cat statues and everybody assumes she's going to go for a bigger payday later on these, and Batman and Robin try to stop her as always. Catwoman had been mentioned in the show many episodes prior when Zelda the Great was the villain because they were like, "What female?" Because they were like a woman committing crimes. Like that's what they were. That's what Commissioner Gordon was like, and they go, "Could be the Catwoman." And so she was mentioned there. Of course, playing Catwoman is Julie Newmar, and she's credited as the Catwoman.
Yes, and also to right, doesn't it say like as the evil
Yes,
villainess?
special guest villainess. When it's a
Yes,
guy, it's villain. When it's a girl,
that's
it's
it.
villainess.
It's
And,
villainess.
and so she was a stage performer with acting and ballet,
Mhm.
transitioning to TV at this time. Got noticed she was in Lil Abner, and that's what kind of took
Mhm.
her career off. She did Twilight Zone, and I was in a sitcom that was short-lived called Rhoda the Robot, and or she played Rhoda the Robot in a sitcom called My Living Doll.
Mhm.
After acting, she sort of went into real estate. That was a
Oh,
thing. But
didn't know that.
when she was at the height of her career, she'd been known for she did Columbo, she did Bewitched, Get Smart,
Mhm.
she did Star Trek, and for you Star Trekkies out there, she was
Mhm.
in season 2, episode 11, Friday's Child. But you probably already know it's Julie Newmar, The Monkees, F Troop, and Beverly Hillbillies, and she personally designed and sewed her Catwoman suits.
She did?
Yes,
That I did not know. I mean, she looked fantastic
yeah,
in
she
them.
does. So. This probably I am 99% certain this is my first ever crush is
Yeah.
Julie Newmar as Catwoman.
That's kind of, I mean, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's just like her hair, her demeanor, her face, like just everything about her, the way she moves on screen. I mean, it's also like you said, I mean, she was a Broadway performer. She's a
Hmm.
dancer. Like you almost get that just in like the way she moves, like, you know, through the scenes, like just being Catwoman. It's
Yeah.
very and I mean it's very feline, but it's also very theatrical, which and also too like I mean that was how those TV shows were shot back then. Like
Hmm.
every line is sort of ridiculous, but also endearing. I was also laughing to myself with the little in the first episode, the little PSA in the middle about like wearing your seatbelt.
Robin, you haven't fastened your safety bat belt.
We're only going a couple of blocks.
It won't be long until you're old enough to get a driver's license, Robin. Then you'll be able to drive the Batmobile and other vehicles. Remember, motorist safety.
Gosh, Batman, when you put it that way.
When,
Oh, so I have a note about that. So there were the seatbelt when remember Robin motorist safety. It was a response to a viewer complaints that they weren't shown using the seatbelts in the Batmobile.
I figured actually. I figured I was like, this is clearly like, you know, they're talking to somebody specifically here.
Hmm.
Um, which I thought was very funny. Yeah, because yeah, nowadays I feel like a show will do that if a plot line is
Hmm.
sort of like universally panned or whatever, and then sometimes the characters in the show will make some sort of offhand remarks, and it's sort of like, oh, okay, the writers have heard you guys
Yes.
that you hated this one particular thing from like last season or whatever. I've been just quick digression. I've been rewatching Felicity.
Hmm.
And I remember like the big to do when she her character gets her hair cut very, very short, because like her hair was sort of her signature thing, this like big flowy mane of curly hair. And then there's a point at the and like people hated it very vocally. And then there's like a point, I think at the end of it's either like end of season 2 or beginning of season 3 or something, there's an episode where she's had the short hair for a long time now, and she's having a little bit of a breakdown talking to the school counselor, and she's like, and this and this, and I hate my haircut, and then goes back into another thing, and I'm rewatching it, I'm like, oh my God, that was so purposeful.
They all know.
They
Yeah.
all know. They all know. But yeah, that and also I just love how everything is so I don't know, it's on these shows, everything's so pat, if you will,
Hmm.
like, listen, Robin, this,
Yeah.
or even just, I'm trying to think of a good example, but um I don't, it's just the vibe of the show is so enjoyable even now in 2026.
It is. It's colorful. It's fun. And I mean, the thing is, like, when you're an adult watching it, like we are now, like you realize it's written as comedy.
Yes,
It's not written
right.
to be serious. And that was
No, yeah.
a mistake. There was an era where, just like where Roger Moore Bond became uncool all of a sudden, this
Mhm.
Batman became uncool because it was so campy. I'm like,
Yeah.
you go back and read the notes and stuff from when they were making
Mhm.
this, it was intentionally designed to
Yeah,
be
and
a
that's so
comedy.
obvious as an adult,
Yeah.
I mean, I laughed a lot
Hmm.
watching it, but never as much as when Julie Newar said, "You can brush my pussy willow."
Oh yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, that was a line that was like, all right.
And she hesitated. She
Yeah.
hesitated. She knew exactly what she was doing there. And then I know she says it again in the second episode, which I know we'll get to, but like
Yeah.
not the same line, but she like
Yes.
alludes to it when they get the treasure. But um yeah, it's just I was on the floor because I was just like as a kid, I never would have
Nope.
even just nope. But it was just and the way she like practically purred the sentence, and I was like, oh my God, Julie Newmar, this is why we all loved you.
And it was kind of like, I don't know, Pussy Willow stuff was like innocent back like so like when my sophomore year of college, I transferred to Ball State University and I got this hand-me-down twin bed because I was a cool guy and had a waterbed from like 5th grade to freshman year in college when I was living in my parents' house my freshman year of college. And so I got this hand-me-down twin bed and I got these hand-me-down sheets and they were like it was like a scene of Pussy Willows and I had my friend Tracy over one time just to, because she transferred there too, and we were checking each other's places out. And she's like, "Oh, so you sleep on pussy every night? Way to be a college guy, Brandon." I was like, I didn't think of that, and I had not thought of that at all. I'm like, okay, Tracy, very nice.
Julie
So
Newmar would be proud of you.
she would, and I was, yeah, going back, like she, like something unlocked in my brain when with her when I was young that I was just like, I feel weird. But she's great, like in here because she has like a presence here that has like a tilt of lack of sanity that like
Yes,
is
yes,
amazing, and and
yes.
she's incredible at playing it, and it's just like
Hmm.
you're awkward around her
Hmm.
because because there's lash outs, there's weird
Yep.
things, and
Hmm.
I'm just fast even to this day fascinated just watching her eat up a scene, like just
Hmm.
turn the camera on and let her walk around, like
Yes.
there's like
Just
little meows and like things like that that are just
yep.
what's up with you, lady? What is going on? Like I don't.
Yes. Just
Yeah.
full on chewing the scenery every single second that she's on screen, and just like can't wait to see what she does next, and her whole like checking her clock. Oh, just enough time for a cat nap.
Yeah.
Just everything about her is fantastic.
And then like when she goes to read that book and she's like looking around and just like yeah, it's kind of like what? And this is even an episode where she doesn't really have her crush on Batman playing out too much,
No,
which
yeah,
would be
like now
developed
she's
later.
she's just determined to get him and Robin, but also like like not just get rid of them. She has to toy with them, play with them, cat and mouse, like torture them.
Yeah. And then they have like, there's, oh my gosh, with her physical humor and stuff, there's a moment where one of her goons hands her something and he's got his hand there and she uses it as a like an armrest.
Yes.
Just naturally and everything. I'm like, oh, that's
Yes.
hilarious. That is,
Yes.
oh, that is so great. That is so great.
Yeah. And you got to wonder if that was stage direction or she just did that and they left it in. Yeah.
She said, like, I was reading interviews with her from around the time, and she says, if you call me beautiful or a good actor or dancer, I'm not impressed with you. But if you tell me I'm very good comedian, then I'll listen, because she wanted to be known for her comedy. That was a big
and
deal.
She was hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah.
She just happened to also be hot.
Yeah, she had just all time good looks and personality department, just quite amazing. And so joining her at the Gateau and Fur Company, we mentioned Ralph Manza as Felix. We also have Jock Mahoney as Leo, which were names of popular animated cats at the time. He was a Western film actor turned to TV guest actor. We have Harry Holcomb, who plays Mr. Andrews. He's a character actor with some notable appearances. Movies like King Kong vs. Godzilla, Sleeper, The Graduate, and Escape from Witch Mountain. And then there's this weird thing. There's a Commissioner Gordon's secretary, Bonnie, who shows up. Uncredited, never shows up in the show again. Her name
has like 2 lines.
I'm going to give her time in the spotlight because her name is Elisa Ingram, and she was just like a 60s TV guest star, did Get Smart, Hogan's Heroes, Mission Impossible, and Bewitched. But it's interesting when you go back to these times, because back in this era, and this is why I liken things to the British television system, and it is only maybe true here in the 50s and 60s. Acting was like your 9-to-5 job. Some people were plumbers, some people worked at a shop, and then others, went 9-to-5 to work on a TV show or something like that as an actor. It wasn't like this status or, thing back then. So that's kind of how these people wind up with just acting in the 60s and then moving on or something like that. So
that's crazy. I think about that too. Like, I love like looking on like Wikipedia and IMDb about like when you see someone, you're like, oh, I've seen them in like a handful of things. Like, because even now too, like I was saying, rewatching Felicity, a lot of like 90s and early 2000s show, you see a lot of the same guest stars and you realize like it's like everything goes in cycles. Like the same thing happened in like 50 shows, 60 shows, 70s, 8, like, it was like, if you got into kind of like, I guess that grouping of, frequently hired character actors, guest stars, like you actually, you could work pretty well, like on a lot of shows, especially, I guess back then, obviously everything was LA. And then things, branched out in the 90s and even more so now, because now, you could work in Atlanta, you can work in New Mexico, you can work in Michigan, you can work in Toronto, Vancouver, on various things and of course overseas. But yeah, and it's always interesting. I'm always like very interested if you look up an actor and they like, did a bunch of shows in the 60s and 70s and all of a sudden then there's like nothing after that. And you're like, what made you decide? Like, what was the last job that you're like, oh, I can't, it's just too hard. I can't do this anymore. Or like, what was going on with the industry? Like, I'm so interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating.
Because like you said, Julie Newar became a realtor at some point, like it's a very, even when you're hot and famous and comedic, Julie, you're very comedic.
Yes.
It's a really, really hard industry to survive in, no matter like, and that was back in like the golden age, of all of it. So it's funny to see like everything does go in cycles and happen all over again.
There's a great story from one of the actors in Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. She was in it. She gets killed. She plays the lead character's brother's girlfriend, and she gets killed after a sex scene. And he gets killed in the shower, and she became a realtor or an interior designer, decorator. And she said she was doing like Edgar Wright's house or something. And he was like, hold on, I know you from somewhere. What? It's like, and she's like, I don't know where. And he's like, wait, were you in Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers? Were you the, and she's like, yes. And she's like, I couldn't talk for a moment. He was so excited to meet me and stuff like that. So I'm like, imagine meeting a realtor at a house and it's Julie Newmar.
I would die. Yeah, I would die.
It would be
Yeah.
so
Well,
funny.
that's a, like, what's his name? Matt Harvey, who,
Mhm.
was like the Mets ace pitcher. He works for like a commercial, I think it's commercial real estate actually. Like,
Okay.
oh no, maybe it's not commercial. No, I think it's just like, you know, multi-million dollar properties. Like he works for a place. And like honestly, and I say like work because like he probably just gets called in to like reel in a big fish or something
Right.
because they're like, hey, Matt Harvey's gonna sell me this like, $5.2 million condo in, New York City. But like yeah, if he was just like a regular realtor instead of like a crazy high-end one like he apparently is,
Mhm.
like yeah, if I went like house hunting and all of a sudden I'd be like, I'm sorry, like what? Like you were appointment viewing like
Right.
during several seasons of baseball. You're selling me a house? Yes, I will buy it. Yes, I will take 10. Like give me all of your houses.
Yeah, we have like former Colts and stuff starting like restaurants here, and
Yeah.
we had like Scott Pollard. I think Scott Pollard from the Pacers went into real estate here. Like it's
Mhm.
it's interesting what guys
Yeah.
do to try to, if
Yeah.
they're not going to go into broadcasting, what's their next
What's
what's
their
their
next
next move?
move?
It's not
Yeah.
just sitting around. Yeah, we have like Jeff Teague coaches high school
Mhm.
basketball here too. It's interesting. And speaking of people like a journeyman director James Sheldon is directing this. He doesn't. I mean, nothing. It's not like, oh, he just was the guy who was like, all right, you're working on Batman next.
Yeah.
And then you have Ralph Ross, and Lee Orgel who write it. Ross would act. He would actually act in the Penguin two-parter the next season, and was responsible for developing the Wonder Woman TV show. And he wrote
Ah.
wrote two Columbos. He was an actor writer at the time, and then this Orgel person wrote 156 episodes of the animated Three Stooges show in the 60s, and
Oh,
a couple Scooby Doo episodes in the 70s. So
wow.
yes, this is not based on a comic. Um, and I gotta say, okay, so this. Do you remember ViewMasters? Did you have one?
Yes.
It's a little
Yes.
red thing, and you look.
Hmm. Yep.
So this episode was released on ViewMaster, and I had it growing up.
Hmm.
Where you put the little disc in, and it makes it look 3D. You hold up the light. So I had this one growing up, and it came with like an accompanying audio tape or
Hmm.
something. Yeah, so this was a ViewMaster episode. I almost went to eBay
Cool.
and bought a copy just to have it
Oh my
again, just to
God.
hold it up during this. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Uh, this one, okay, another thing. During the airing of this episode, ABC interrupted the original airing for a news bulletin that NASA astronauts Neil Armstrong, a little more than 3 years before he became the first man to walk on the moon, and David Scott were having problems with the controls on the Gemini 8 spacecraft, and a near fatal situation ensued. However, thousands of viewer phone calls swamped the ABC switchboards, not out of concern for the astronauts, but to complain about the interruption of the Batman telecast.
People will never change.
Yes, because I get mad nowadays if I'm watching a Pacer game and they're like, "Oh, here's or or a show," if I'm watching actual broadcast television, and it's like, you realize we have phones. You have a
Mhm.
ticker at the bottom that can tell people where to go for the info,
Yeah.
watch the video.
Yeah.
We have, if you're watching Antenna Digital, your
Yeah.
station has like 12 channels that you
Yeah.
could say switch to this, or put like an option to click with your remote to
Hmm.
go to that. Why are we interrupting games or putting the game in the small corner?
I know. I know. Like somebody better be dead.
Yeah, like what is, I don't care about, like here it's like, okay, it's gonna snow. Oh, got it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't like
Yeah.
and if the old people might be in homes, that the people in the homes can tell them like what's
Yeah.
going. I don't know. I don't know. Like, who is this for nowadays? Why are we doing this?
Oh my God.
So yeah, so this was a, yeah, people never change. I think that's the idea with that. People want their show,
Yes.
not their news interrupting it. So that's kind of funny.
Correct.
I keep track of things like villains leaving clues, because
Hmm.
they started the show with the Riddler, and so like a lot of them still leave like clues, and Catwoman does. She leaves a
Yeah.
clipping, crossing out one of the cat statues in it.
Hmm.
Uh, you did not get them climbing up a building in this, and no celebrity window cameo, which still the series has not had yet. Maybe that's a season 2 thing, but
Yeah.
we're and here I keep these stats, Danielle, so I'll run through them for you. So the gadgets used in this episode are the
Yeah.
bat phone, the bat poles, the bat cave, the Batmobile, the auxiliary power channel, the atomic reactor, the radioactive mist, the batometer, the bat radio walkie-talkie thing, and the universal drug antidote pills, and the bat beam.
That was my favorite thing ever. Just take these universal antidote drug pills and you'll be right as rain.
Yeah, he's got them everywhere. Batman the pharmacist.
It's
So
amazing. Like I love like that's what I love about these shows. There's a it's very like Hays Code of
yeah,
like the bad person has to face consequences, like the good people have to triumph. Like it's so funny. Because that's what I was wondering about, like the beginning. Because like the cat attacks the guy at the museum, but I'm like, but it's just a cat jumping on him. Like, how come he's like completely knocked out? And then
yeah.
like when it does it to Robin, and you're like, oh, you've been attacked with this certain kind of chemical that's like poisonous and blah blah blah. But these pills will fix you.
What if the cat licks its paws?
I know.
Yeah, poor cat. Uh, I also we have a fight in this episode, so I'm keep track of the fight
Yep.
words. We have zap, crack, crunch with a C, bonk, rack with 3 Ks, oof with 4 O's, and thwack.
Whack. That's
And
my favorite.
yes, and then we have a Robinisms. She says, Holy Reshevsky, which was a popular chess player at the time. So at the beginning of this, Batman and Robin are playing. I'm like, is this what they mean by 4D chess?
Right,
'Cause
that's
it's
I was gonna ask you
four-layered.
that today. Like, wait, what's happening with this bi-level chessboard?
It's a lot. I just I don't know how I play that. He also says, Holy trickery, you're right. Holy cat's a cat. And then he says, CC Batman, what do we do now? Because he's talking about Robin knowing French and Spanish or something. He's like, CC Batman. Oh, God. Holy ice
Oh yes,
pick.
because he said that gato and shot were
Yeah. He knew the definitions of them in
yes.
other languages. He's like, I'm glad you've
Yep.
been studying your language.
Yeah.
And he says, Holy ice picks and the old cat and mouse game. Other noteworthy things in this first part, I like the slow reveal of Catwoman. No villain has been
Yes.
introduced like this. Like they have her, they first have her just her hand in the open, and then she
Yeah.
comes in the shadows talking, and then she
Yep.
moves in a little in light, and then she sits down and prances on her
Yep.
thing. So like all that, I
Yeah.
think all Julie Newmar needed was that little oddly shaped chair, 60s shaped chair, and she could have given you like 3 hours of entertainment.
Oh
on
my
that thing.
gosh, 100%.
Like it
Yeah.
obviously clued or like her, like it was good, like starting point for her performance. I think she liked that a lot.
Yes.
Oh, Alfred, when he hears about Catwoman, he goes, tisk
Yes.
tisk, will she never learn? So funny. And then Batman, they go to a train or something, or bus, and Batman's like, I'd rather pay just like any ordinary citizens.
The convention where the
Yes.
other statues
Oh yeah,
being
that's what it was.
displayed.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah. So the guy at the
Um,
box office like, you can go in, Batman. He's like, nope,
Yeah.
I'd rather pay like any other
Yes.
customer.
And I love that they have that he like turns and like looks at the line of people like, I'm just like you.
And then this is the first time Batman ever calls Robin old chum.
Oh.
That's a very thing. Like when Adam West passed away many moons ago, my post on my Facebook and shared on things was a picture of him, and I put farewell old chum, because that's a
Yes.
known thing he says.
Oh.
Catwoman loves toying with Batman. I enjoy that. She traps him. This is the first episode of the show without Stafford Rapp as Chief O'Hara. Do you remember the Irish speaking? Okay,
Yes.
yeah. This is the first time he's not in an episode. So we'll go to the cliffhanger here. Robin. So Batman and Robin go to the Gato and Fur Company, and they wind up in this dungeon, and it's got closing in walls first, and it's got pointing things, and Batman decides I can hold them off, but they're rubber. So
Yes.
they laugh, and then there's a bomb that gets thrown off that just says meow, and it's funny. And then Robin gets a takeaway in a tube, and the Lady and the Tiger comes into play. That book where Batman has to choose between the door that has Catwoman behind it or the door of the tiger. Of course,
Yeah.
he picks the
And
tiger.
of course it's going to be the tiger.
Yes, and it says the answer to these and many other terrifying questions tomorrow night, same cat time, same cat channel, which they play with that. And it says there's a freeze frame on the tiger as the words display, and then unfreezes as it passes by.
Yes.
And so yeah, that's the first episode. Any final thoughts on that first one?
That was super fun because I love that also that it ends with a tiger, which is also just a very large cat.
Yeah, yes.
It's like, so she's telling you have these two doors to choose. It's like a cat or a cat, and they both want to kill you.
Right. Two cats.
Two
Yeah.
cats.
So yeah, we go to our next episode, Better Luck Next Time, which has the same guest star roster in it and same director and writer. The cliffhanger resolve: Batman uses some sort of bat paws, and he climbs up a wall. Then he reverses the polarity on his communicator and increases the audio modulation to 20,000 decibels, making the tiger irritated, and he lays down, and then Batman just jumps through and leaves through the door. The door was unlocked.
So anticlimactic. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's how these always. There was one where Mad Hatter put Batman in this mold where he was supposed to suffocate, and then they end up getting him out, and he's like, "How is he alive?" He's like, "I just held my breath, Robin." Like,
Universal antidote pills, Robin. They work for everything.
Yes. So in this one, it turns out Catwoman is not going after the treasure they thought she was. These two statues put together create a map of this pirate that held treasure in these caverns, and Catwoman goes to get it. And, she meets her fate in the cave.
Yes.
So, yeah, what were your thoughts on the resolve and everything with this one?
So it was very funny to me because also she's been so smart this whole time that why wouldn't she have just tossed the treasure to the other side and then jumped over? Because then she would have had both hands.
Right.
Like it was very unlike her to not think of that. But also I felt between the two episodes too, I felt like there were a lot of funny parallels to a movie that would come out much later, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Where like one where the walls are closing in because that's Temple of Doom. And then a hot woman leaping across to for the prize and then falling down into a bottomless pit. That's, Last Crusade with Elsa. So that was funny to me. I was like, oh, I wonder if Steven Spielberg watched, Batman.
It's possible. I don't know if was he working at this time yet in television? Like he comes in the late 60s, early 70s, so it's very possible. But this was the hot show. Everybody was watching it.
Yeah. So it just made me think. I was like, I wonder if any of that was a thought when the Indiana Jones movies got written, because that's the second one and third one, those two things.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, again, too, any sort of caper adventure show is going to have similar type scenarios. But it was funny. It's also it's just funny how they've been enemies this whole time, and then she's hanging onto the thing, and they're like, oh no, we need to save her, because which honestly is a very more of a Superman type deal than a Batman type deal,
right?
But then again, this was the campy TV show, not the broody dark movies that came later. But it's funny, all of a sudden they're like, oh, we can't in good conscience let this woman die, fall to her death in the bottomless cavern pit. And I also love that then they have the cat who Aunt Harriet is very upset with because it steals everything.
Right. Yeah.
I thought that was a nice button on the 2-part episode.
Yeah, if he can't rehabilitate the criminal, he will rehabilitate the cat.
So rehabilitate. We're trying to rehabilitate it. It came from a broken home.
The Batman way. I like here. There's a lot to like here. Just like I love this two-parter. Honestly, we get Catwoman saying "TTFN." Ta-ta for now. That she has to explain. I like that. There's another. So like you have to go from the cliffhanger to another thing where Robin gets put on a plank, and there's, rather than just throw him to the tigers, they have to have a sand thing go down, which gives Batman enough time to save Robin. But she also based Robin with Maxime's de Paris choice catnip. That was the thing. She had, and compared to the other villains so far, Catwoman has a lair. It's like a maze and dungeons and everything. Everybody else just had a room. Catacombs. There we go. Very, very true.
Yeah, that's why I like Batman being lost down there and putting his little sticker things on the wall to be like, did I walk past here already? Yes, I did.
We also have Commissioner Gordon breaks the fourth wall in this. So he says, "Good luck to us all." The pirate is the notorious pirate Captain Manx. So that's becomes a thing in this. I love Catwoman's car. I was like, this is a perfect automobile for her. Like, this looks awesome. We'd have liked to see her driving it, but I get it. But because she sits and lets her guy, so she winds up just having one of her guys available. There's a third goon that shows up in this just randomly for a fight, I think.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm like, wait, weren't there
he's just
two?
there.
And there's three, and then they capture two, and then the one gets away, and she turns on him once they find the treasure, but he has to keep dropping off in this random spot in the desert to her some things where she's waiting on her car, just like she's like perfectly perched, waiting on her car, like nobody would, but it's like it looks like she's doing a model shoot with that car, and then hops off to it and talks. And so there's let's see. She puts explosive mines on the way to this cavern for Batman and Robin. Batman goes, just as I thought, she's mined the road with explosives.
I love that they're like, we'll have to do the bat armor, but then like it doesn't protect the tires, but then you just press the button and it reinflates the tires.
Yep, just it's that easy. Why didn't they install those in everyone's cars?
So perfect. It's just like, oh. Yeah. And that was funny.
After Catwoman dies, Batman says, "Greed is overpowering emotion, Robin." Just so good stuff that I like from this one. So they don't climb the rope in this one again. I'm sorry you didn't get a climbing episode, but
that's okay.
We have a lot of gadgets in this one. We have the bat paw, the bat earplugs, the utility belt communicator, the bat symbol marker, the batarang, the bat rope, the bat phone, the bat cave, the bat research shelf. The history of Gotham City, the metal analyzer, the spectroscope, the batometer, the Batmobile, the lead shielding compartment, the bat armor, the tire repair device, and the bat flashlight. So much.
A lot of good stuff.
It is a lot of good stuff. And then the fight words we get this. So this one, they repeat words from the first episode, and that has not happened yet in this. Just so you are aware.
I did not know that.
That it comes up. I don't know why they chose, and there's like the same graphic and everything. I was like, oh, someone's running out of ideas, or someone got lazy. I don't know. So the ones we got in this episode are thwack, zap, crunch, r, crack, rack, oof, and bonk. So Danielle, we now have I go to the season tally for all the fight words, just so you know. So Pow is in the lead with 7. We have Zap with 6, Oof with 4 O's with 5, because there's another Oof and only has 3 O's, and my listeners told me they want them separated.
Okay.
So
have to separate the Oofs.
Separate the Oofs. And there's 2 Biffs that are separated too, because one has 3 exclamation points and one has 2. So we're doing that. 4 is 4. Bam and Crunch both have 4. Crunch with a K, Kapow, Wham, Biff, Zwap, Crash, Boff, and Crack have 3. Thwap, Zock, Bonk, Rack with 3 Ks, which didn't appear till this week. It's now in the running. And Thwack have 2. So the remainder of words only have 1, like Yow, Awk, Zam, Sock, Crack with a hyphen in the middle of it. And my favorite odd one, Pam. Like, what did she do?
Pam.
What did she do to be a fight
Pam.
word? Yeah, just Pam.
Pam. Just yelling out Pam.
Pam. Someone hit the wrong key and bam, and it said
And
Pam. And
it said Pam.
they went with it. So
Yeah.
yeah. Then we have the Robinisms. Catwoman, you are not a nice person. And I'm always interested in the workings of the criminal mind. Holy felony and holy geography. So
Oh,
yes.
Robin.
So that's our episode here. I enjoyed it. This is the first villain that dies.
Yeah.
We had the Riddler's accomplice. She dies in the original first
Mhm.
two-parter, but Catwoman dies in a way that I don't. Did you watch MacGyver when you were growing up at all?
Yes.
Do you remember Murdoch?
Yeah.
Catwoman's
Mhm.
the original Murdoch here, where she's like and then she comes back.
She comes back. Well,
Comes
and they
back.
say, like, do you think she survived?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're very cool stuff, and I like the cavern things. I know they're sets
Mhm.
and whatever, but I
Yeah.
like hand built sets. Even if
Mhm.
they're like, this is why I like classic Doctor Who and all that stuff, because I love, because my mind used to be like, we took that and we imagined or we bought the reality and lived in it, and
Yeah.
there's such detail and craft to those
Mhm.
things that I love them. I don't know how to
Totally.
explain it, and this isn't a
Yeah.
physical versus CG type argument. This is just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a handcraft nature that there's some great CG stuff out there, but like
Yeah.
this handcraft nature of a set, I think it's something with the actors really kind of
Yeah.
spin in it too when they can be part of the reality.
So quick digression. Have you watched at all the new show, the Fall and Rise of Reggie Jenkins?
I have not yet. It keeps coming up, and I'm like, oh, I need to watch that, and I have not watched it yet.
Especially, were you a 30 Rock fan?
Yes, I love 30
Okay,
Rock.
then
Yep.
you'll love it. It's like the people behind 30 Rock. It's got a 30 Rock vibe to it, and
Okay.
it's Tracy Morgan. But so Tracy Morgan, just real quick, he's a disgraced football player because he was caught like gambling on games. That's why he was, banned from the league. And Daniel Radcliffe plays this guy who's making a documentary about him, and his character's backstory is that he had like a meltdown he was like this big hot director, and he had a meltdown like trying to direct a Marvel movie, and now like he's trying to like make his comeback, and in very 30 Rock fashion, they flash back to like his meltdown on the Marvel set, and it's just a big green screen, and there's a lot of like tennis balls hanging, and he's like talking to someone off camera, and he's being like, so that tennis ball is who now? And then that tennis ball, and then like his meltdown is him being like, I can't take it. I don't even know who this is. And he's like punching the tennis balls because like it's not an actual set. It's just tennis balls hanging from a ceiling on a green screen. And it's so hilarious because that's exactly what you just reminded me of. Like people want like real sets and like real feel and like to interact and like to act with another person, not a tennis ball with like a pinpoint on it so that they can CGI in some creature. So you just reminded me of that, and I thought it was a very funny like way to introduce his character as like this is why he had the meltdown, and I'm like, wait, like as he should.
Yes. It makes sense.
But so you should watch it.
They did that on there's a show I liked on Adult Swim many years ago, Tim and Eric's show, Tim and Eric's awesome show, great job. And there was a sketch they had called Spaghetti, which was this like real weird guy that would just jump out and scare people, where you could see him in plain sight, but he would jump out and scare people. And then they made a thing where they were making Spaghetti the movie, and it was directed by Steven Spielberg. And like Tim and Eric had a falling out, and Eric came to visit the set, and it's all like this is literally a guy standing behind a fern in an office jumping out to spook people. But he gets to the set and he's in like the green screen costume with the motion capture stuff, and it's all green, and there's tennis balls and stuff, and it's like, what is this for this movie that's about a guy who just jumps out? But it's kind of funny stuff. But yeah, and that, like Ewan McGregor talking about the Phantom Menace, where he's like, I had to put my, like I had to talk to this gut thing, like what is going on, like and a lot of them having trouble. But now there's a lot of actors get used to that, but like there's still like, that's why like Joaquin Phoenix, I had good word that he was offered a lot of money to be Doctor Strange for Marvel, and he turned it down, and it's because he's like, that's not my environment, I can't do that. And then he does the Joker movies, which is grounded and actual sets and stuff. So
Yes,
Morris field,
yeah,
like
and
he
much
doesn't feel
more.
comfortable doing CG. And if you look at Joaquin Phoenix's career, can you name a big CG movie he was in?
No, no,
Yeah.
and it's true. Like, and because I remember, when I used to work in TV and like and just getting to know a lot of actors on set and stuff.
Hmm.
I remember talking to some of them because one of the shows that I worked on was The Good Wife, which is
Hmm.
a law show, and a lot of the main characters, obviously, that's tons of dialogue, like all day, every day, in
Hmm.
courtrooms and offices, whatever. And I've always been, I was always like good at like memorizing lines like back in the day, like I mean school plays, whatever, but I never really had to do it professionally like them. And I remember being like, because everyone seemed to have a different process. And I found that so interesting, and was like, how do you like learn the material? Like what's the best way for you to learn the material? And I remember one of the actors telling me they all, they all had different processes, but like, similar in the end. But one of them had said, one of the best ways to be a really good actor is to be a really good listener because if you're just memorizing lines, then you're talking at the person and you're
Hmm.
thinking, oh, my next line is this. Oh, my next line is this. But like if you're actually engaged and listening to the person, like you'll inherently know your next line because you studied it, you read it like over and over and over, you practiced it, you rehearsed it. And then like the person says the other line that prompts you, to have the other part of the conversation. So instead like of talking at the person, you're talking with the person. And um at the time I was like, yeah, that seems like sort of obvious and whatever. But when you watch TV shows or movies, like bad ones versus good ones,
Hmm.
that is the difference, honestly, is like you actually see people either conversing with each other or talking at each other.
Yeah, yeah. And they cheat a lot of times when they just cut what you do over the shoulder shots and
Mhm.
stuff to make it easier. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
I did when I was in Los Angeles, I studied like a little bit of Meisner technique, which follows
Mhm.
that, which tries to get you comfortable saying lines in an environment with actions going on and focusing more on the person you're with rather
Mhm.
than yourself and your lines. So that's kind of,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
definitely it's tough.
Yeah.
And plus with TV, when you're getting daily changes and things like that all the time,
Right.
that's
Yes,
yeah, and you
exactly.
got to move more than you do on a film.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
it's yeah, you don't get as
Mhm.
many chances to get like
Mhm.
and we got to move on. So
Yeah.
very tough stuff. Very cool. But yeah, these I feel like Adam West lives in his moment. Like you're not watching someone, and Julie Newmar too. I wonder how much
Yeah.
is improv that she's doing. Like
Yeah.
that's I really
Yeah.
see that, and it makes her feel very natural. And like I
Yes.
Julie Newmar to me is a lot of it is Catwoman. Like I hope if I ever met
Yeah.
her, I'm meeting Catwoman. Like
Yes.
that's how a lot of her is, and she's
Yeah.
wonderful. And it sucks that this is her only appearance in this season.
Oh.
They got Catwoman really late, which is odd. She's in the movie, but Lee
Mhm.
Merriweather plays her because Julie Newmar was not available.
Got it.
Which I have assumed is because they originally planned to do the movie first and
Mhm.
then do the season, and then it ended up being better to do the movie after the season. And
Mhm.
the first three villains are Frank Gorshin, Burgess Meredith, and Cesar Romero, who probably were
There's
signed
three.
on to do both. And then by the
Mhm.
time they get around to Julie Newmar, she's already busy when they're going to do that shoot because this
Right,
is
right,
late
right.
in the season. So,
Yeah.
so to make up for it, they make her the most prominent villain of season two, and then
Mhm.
she has a filming conflict with season three, and Eartha Kitt takes the role.
Mhm.
So, not a bad substitute,
Yeah.
Eartha Kitt. But yeah, Julie Newmar is
Mhm.
my Catwoman to this day. Like,
Mhm.
and I honestly, I've said this before, but I don't think there's a bad Catwoman. Holly Berry's
It's
movie is
true.
not her fault. Um,
No, it was not her fault. She's
I
still a
like
good
Anne
Catwoman.
Hathaway.
Yep.
I like Michelle Pfeiffer a lot. Like it's
Mhm.
yeah, but Julie Newmar, you're my one.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yes, and wait, the new one, the Batman with Robert
Oh,
Pattinson. That's
Zoe Kravitz. Yeah, she's
Zoe
terrific.
Kravitz is, yeah.
Yeah, she's wonderful and super film nerd Zoe Kravitz. That's what I love
Yeah.
about her. Like
I but I have to make a confession. I have not watched the Batman
it's
yet. And
3 hours of your life.
I
It's yeah.
know that I think that's why I kept hesitating because like, I gotta do because like I do really enjoy both of them. Like I think
Mhm.
Robert Pattinson is really talented.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I'll watch most things he's in. Like I remember like I was a little bit like too old for like the Twilight situation,
Yeah.
like when that became like a phenomenon. Like I kind of was just like, oh, that's and don't get me wrong, I love a good like YA novel or like teen drama or
Hmm.
whatever. But it's just like I think I was watching like True Blood at the time,
Okay.
and Twilight came out and I was like, oh no, I'm like into this like adult vampire show,
Right.
like not this like teen movie. But then, I watched it later, and and it's fine. But I remember like watching Robert Pattinson in that, and then watching him in like the first few things he did after that, and I was like, this guy is a really good actor.
That's what a lot of people
Um,
need to realize. Like, didn't I think they've come around, but like it's sort of like the Heath Ledger thing, where the another Batman thing, where people are like, "Oh, he's a girls actor." It's like,
yeah,
no,
he's
he's very good. Like, if you've seen
he's just very good.
Good Time, Lost City of Z, he's got a supporting
Hmm.
role. He's great. Like, he is
Yeah,
excellent in everything. Like, he
yeah.
knows what he's doing. Like,
Like Water for Elephants, he was very good.
yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, they just not that like it's so weird how people have these bias on people. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like Matt, like McConaughey had his spirits when he was doing rom-coms because
Hmm.
those made money, have fun doing. Like, that doesn't
Yeah,
denigrate your ability. And did you actually watch said rom-coms? No, probably not. But
right. And
uh,
also like I hate that rom-coms get denigrated because like they are amazing when they're really good, they're amazing.
yeah,
Like just on my plane ride down and back to Florida, because I'm a very nervous flyer.
hmm,
And part of my anxiety is like I can't watch a movie I haven't seen before on a plane. I can't fully explain why. My therapist could probably explain why,
yeah,
but I can't fully explain why. It's just it gives me like extra anxiety to know like I'm watching something and I don't know what's coming.
there you go.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
so I have to watch so I watch like classics or old favorites or like movies I've seen before. And very often that ends up being movies like Beetlejuice, Clueless, When Harry Met Sally, and When Harry Met Sally had come up as like a popular favorite when I was on JetBlue
hmm,
last week. And I was like, that's perfect. I was like, because it's like, 2 hours and 20 minutes to West Palm. This movie's an hour and a half, and then I'll watch like 2 episodes of a sitcom because they also have, TV on the
yeah.
little TVs. So I was like, I'll watch When Harry Met Sally, and then I'll watch like 2 episodes of a sitcom, and then I will be there. Um, and When Harry Met Sally is like, yeah, it's a rom-com. There is like not 1 second wasted in that movie.
Uh-huh.
And you can't really say that about a lot of rom-coms these days. Like there's so much like extra whatever going on, and where things are too long. Like, and rom-coms can be longer than an hour and a half. Like I'm not here to be that person who's like all movies should be under 2 hours. Like, but certain movies make sense under 2 hours.
Yeah.
And for most parts, like the rom-com is the genre that like fits the 90-minute really, really well.
Hmm.
Because it's
Rom-com
like
slashers, like, yeah, they do. Yeah.
yeah, it's like you get in and you get out. Like it's, because otherwise, like you have long stretches of what, and like that works in drama for sure.
Hmm.
Like I'll watch a really long, I'll watch an Oppenheimer,
Yeah.
I'll watch a Christopher Nolan epic any day of the week,
Right.
and be perfectly happy the entire time. But for a rom-com, like, you like you get to the meet cute, you get to them meeting each other, you get
Hmm.
to like the what's going to happen, then you get to the misunderstanding and then the getting back together or whatever it is. So
And the
it's
depth
yeah,
and
it's like
stuff is all there. Like, it doesn't need
yeah,
like we like overwrite some of these genres and movies
yeah,
nowadays. And
yep,
yeah, the superhero movie could go shorter. Like, what series I
yeah,
admire is the Predator movies. They're all an hour 40.
yeah,
All of the
they're
Predator movies are an hour 40. It's
and
there
they're
you
a
go.
great time, they're a
Yeah.
great time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's insane.
yeah,
Like, like we look at these movies like and stuff. Like, I was just talking about I Walked with a Zombie. It's a 1943 movie. It's an hour 10 minutes, but it's got all the depth
yeah,
and backdrop you need
yeah,
that in an hour and 10 minutes. Like,
yeah,
they explain a backstory of a thing through a song in one part. Like, this guy's
yeah,
singing it and it offends this guy because he's talking about him, and you're like, oh, you get the idea of filling in the cracks without a flashback scene, without someone stopping the movie to tell. And mysteries can be solved quicker and have still be diabolical and interesting. But like, yeah,
yeah. Did you see what was the Good Boy, the horror
Yeah.
movie with
Oh,
the dog? It was
yep.
what, an hour and 10 minutes?
Yep.
Hour 15 maybe?
Yeah, because they know
And
you don't
like
want to sit and watch the dog for 2.5 hours,
no, you don't. You want to watch it for like because the hour and 10 minutes I was literally like this. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh
Hmm.
my God, oh my God. And I was like, don't hurt the dog, don't hurt the dog, don't hurt the dog. Like
Yeah. Yeah, all the Universal classic horror movies were 60 minutes. Like that's I mean, you could do these things. You just need
yeah,
to, someone, like the streaming era was like, "Oh, we don't have time limits." And it's like,
yeah,
"No." And then it leaked to cinema and all this stuff, but you can get stuff done quicker. But,
yeah.
it's is what it is. But
That's what it
yeah.
is.
So, yeah, Batman, I do say the Batman is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm still a Tim Burton duology
Okay.
Batman
Yep.
lover. That was
Fair. Yep.
the original 89 one changed my life.
It's so
and
good.
I love the Nolan ones. I love Batman the anime. I
Hmm.
swim in all the Batman I need. So anything
Yeah.
else that comes is like, okay, that's extra.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like,
No.
I don't
Yeah.
get excited. Like I don't go, oh, there's a new Batman, unless they do
Yeah.
something wildly different with Batman.
Yeah.
My excitement
Yeah.
level's like, oh, another one I'll go see. Even though it's my favorite
Yes.
superhero, one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies of all time is the 89 Batman. But like I just
Yeah.
I'm satisfied in the Batman realm. The
Yeah.
60s Batman show, I love it. So like I have that. Like
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
Batman's good for me. Like I don't need that.
Mhm.
But I get a young person wanting their Batman. So like, okay, there you go.
Yeah. And well, and I mean, Michael Keaton is incredible
Hmm.
as Batman. And I like that's why like honestly I did love the Christian Bale, the Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah.
I think because I was like, oh, I'm never gonna see someone as good as Michael Keaton. And
Right.
then I really thought Christian Bale was really good as
Oh
Batman.
yeah.
Um, and nothing against George Clooney or Val Kilmer, but like the George Clooney one, I mean, and he regrets it. I mean, he says it all the time. But the George Clooney one was more camp.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
It was a tribute to this era. Like
yeah,
it felt,
yeah.
yeah.
It was more camp, and I think like also I'd gotten used to like sort of like the darker tone of the
Hmm.
movie, so that when they did that one, I was kind of like, it's like just this,
Yeah.
and I'm not, not loving it.
Well, when you go through
And
those, like Keaton's perfect, and
yeah,
then Val Kilmer, good Batman, okay, Bruce Wayne, and then you get
yeah,
to George Clooney, who's great Bruce Wayne, Batman, and
yes, that's
and
exactly right.
and
Yes,
then the fine line that they toe in Batman Forever, everyone's on point and gets it except Tommy Lee Jones, and it's
yes,
like and then you
yeah,
go to the next one, and everybody's Tommy Lee Jones, but only Uma Thurman gets it, and
yes,
it
yes,
doesn't work. So
right. It
'cause
doesn't work. It
I like
doesn't work.
Batman
Yeah,
Forever quite a
yeah,
bit, and it works as it
yeah,
is. But yeah,
yeah.
that's
And God, we were so spoiled, right? With like Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
hmm
Like we have some like giants that
yeah,
played like really fun characters. I think about that all the time. Like it's a story for another day. Just like we don't have movie stars anymore.
right, yeah,
Um,
and yeah, because nobody goes to see their other movies. That's what's
yeah.
like these people star in great things, and then they complain. Like I talked about the Melissa Barrera. I was on a show talking about Melissa Barrera with the
Hmm.
Scream thing,
Hmm.
and boycott Scream 7 because they what and I totally am on Melissa Barrera's side, but I don't think your Scream 7 thing is the solution. I think the
Right.
solution is go see Melissa Barrera's other movies.
Go see her other movies. Oh
They're
wait, what was the
great.
one I really liked? Abigail.
Abigail, your monster. She's a
Hmm.
fantastic actress and
Hmm.
she's in awesome movies and you're not
Hmm.
going to see them.
Yeah.
Like I've said, if you want to support, like I stand with
Yeah.
Melissa Barrera, but I don't think
Hmm.
boycott Scream 7 because there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that work on Scream 7 that have nothing
Yes.
to do with that aren't
Yeah.
going into it. Like, what if your big career break was I got Scream 7, but oh, it's this tainted thing because some exec at
Yes.
Skydance did this.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Support her, make her the
It's
big star that they
yeah.
regret not booting and can't get back anymore.
Yeah. The problem is like, I mean, I understand where people's hearts are with certain things, but
Hmm.
a lot of times the wrong people are getting punished for
Right.
like the message that you're trying to send. Like, and
Yep.
which I know it's not always easy to do because it's really hard to, punish the people who hold all the private equity and whatever, but in this life. But yeah, like you got to ask yourself, like, am I hurting like the actual people who
Yeah.
need to make a living?
Right. Yeah, because the movie isn't one actor, one
No,
director. Like
no.
it is a whole thing. And I know
Hmm.
a corporation, but like it's not even
Hmm.
Paramount's fault. Paramount just
Yeah.
distributes.
Oh yeah.
It was Skydance, the company that owns the
Yeah.
rights to Scream, and then yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, go see Melissa
Yeah.
Barrera's movies. Like
Hmm.
that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
like I don't
Yeah.
understand. They go for because a lot of people that get on these trains weren't going to it anyway, and they're like, oh,
Oh yeah.
I see a
Yeah.
social issue to it's controversial, and I want to be on the
Yeah.
right side of it, so I'm gonna this. I'm
Yep.
like, were you even into Scream? Like this
No,
happens
we're yeah. Did
all
you?
over the
Yeah.
internet. This happens
I
all over the
know.
internet, and it's not
Yep.
real life. In real life, you can take your
Yes.
money and go spend it on
Mhm.
Melissa Barrera.
Yeah. It's
So
that way with everything. When like I saw people like on Facebook like celebrating when like Colbert was getting canceled.
yeah,
Um, and I was like, okay, so you don't personally like this man.
yeah,
Fine. First of all, like our administration should have nothing to do with a television show. That's
right,
ridiculous, first of all. Second of all, like, do you know how many people work on that show and make
yeah,
their living and get their health insurance from working on that show?
yep,
So you're celebrating like hundreds of people losing their job, in a time when lots of people are losing their jobs. And I don't know. I always have to think, you if you're celebrating someone losing their job, you're a really kind of ridiculously small, petty
right.
person. And you know what? You should be careful because then no one's going to feel sorry for you when it happens to you.
Right.
Um,
And nobody's pushing for like when like these Fox News shows like Gutfeld or Tucker Carlson wasn't pushed out by the Biden administration. He was pushed out by because of a legal suit and his slander
yeah,
on air. That was what pushed him out of there. But
right,
like nobody I've never seen they've called out lies and things like that on these, but they've never said you need to cancel your show and things
right.
like that. So it's it's
Yeah, it's
wild.
like
People
you
just
just
have
need to stop lying.
yeah.
You should actually tell the truth.
Yeah, no understanding. That's probably people have with this stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, Batman. So
Batman,
we're here.
Batman, back to
So
Batman.
so yeah, I absolutely enjoyed having you back on here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Where can people keep up with you nowadays with what you're doing?
Oh, God, sorry. I know, because like, well, I, sold out to the man and I work as a copywriter now. But I haven't freelance written something since last year. I
Okay.
think I wrote a piece for the Boston Globe about going bowling with my father. It was a piece that it was really great. It actually printed on Father's Day in the print edition of Boston Globe, but like the Sunday edition. So that was awesome. Um, because both he and I have these like sort of chronic injuries that
Mm,
we've gone to physical therapy and acupuncture, all these things for. And my dad my dad's, elderly at this point. So he's at the point where, um, he doesn't want to take any painkillers. But he just has very bad arthritis and, a physical therapy can only do so much for him. And I had been in a car accident that had really like kind of jacked up my shoulder.
mm-hmm.
And and even now, like, so, but for a long period of time, like I couldn't even like reach up without being in like excruciating pain.
Mm,
So I wasn't like doing it. I wasn't even like, I had to like put like glasses above my sink in the cabinet with my left hand because like I would go to like put one in and then be like, oh my God, I'm gonna drop this glass. Oh my God. And I'd have to like sit on the floor and like hold my arm till all like the pain stopped shooting through. Um, and a neighbor of mine had invited me to go bowling. And I was like, yeah, I'll go. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be in so much pain all night. I realized the underhand motion didn't bother me at
oh,
all. In fact, like just totally pain free. So I was like, oh my God, bowling. And so I started bowling all the time with my neighbor who was in a league. I didn't
okay.
join a league because I'm way too inconsistent and I can't have people counting on me to like bowl a certain way because like I will have games where I'll bowl like 4 strikes in a row,
Yeah.
but I'll also have games where like I can't even like hit 6. So
Well,
like
I'm always
yeah,
like the first game I start building up and I look okay. The second game
yeah.
I'm great, and then I fall off on the third.
I
If
feel
yeah,
that's what happens to me.
yeah,
My first game is like okay. My second game, it's like I hit peak, and then third game, I start overthinking because I'm like, hey, I'm awesome again, and then like I'm overdoing it or I'm
yeah.
not like releasing smoothly, whatever. But I really enjoy it. And my dad, and when I told my dad I was getting into it, my dad started telling me all these stories. He used to be in leagues and he won championships like in the
Oh.
70s. Um, and so he was like found all these photos of him with trophies and stuff. It turns out my mom was good too. Um, and so he like came and like he can't really hold because of his arthritis, can't really hold the ball well anymore. But he was helping me and like he helped me with my grip, he helped me with my follow through, like and so I got to write like a really fun piece about that. But yeah, I haven't like also the world of freelance writing is not what it used to be. A lot of editors I used to work with have left.
Hmm.
And it's also like they're just increasingly cutting budgets everywhere. But I am hoping this year, one of my resolutions was to get back to like pitching more ideas, like when something happens in like the cultural zeitgeist, like or TV film that makes me feel like I have an opinion and I want to write about it. But for this is a very long answer of like keeping up with me. I'm on Blue Sky as oh my God, when am I on Blue Sky as? I think just look up my name on Blue
Yeah,
Sky.
that's but
But
with no space in it. That's the weird thing with
yes,
Blue
no
Sky. You
space.
gotta.
Yeah. And I'm on Instagram as Danielle Sep. I'm still on the terrible
You're
site, but
lsep dot
yeah.
blue sky dot social.
Yes,
There
that's
you go.
me. Yes. Okay. That's LSEP.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so I talk about random things, usually baseball, TV, and film. Like those are the things that I like to talk about, and also about how much of a mess things in the world are. But I also try to keep it positive because like we don't need me dooming and glooming all over everything when like there's enough of it to go around.
Right.
But you still got to stand up for what you believe in.
Right.
Um, it's important. But yeah, so if you're in New Jersey, I do a storytelling show once in a while in Montclair. Montclair has an amazing like art and film just community, and they do a story slam. It's very much like the Moth.
Hmm.
And I haven't found out if I've been chosen to do a story this month, but I'll be attending even if I didn't get chosen this month. And if you're in New Jersey, it is a really, really good time. I really love it. I've done it 3 times so far, and I came in third place at one of them,
Oh.
which
Okay.
was really fun. But yeah, last year I did one. There's a theme, and you submit an idea, like you with a couple of sentences, like this is the story I'm going to tell, and then they tell you whether or not they've chosen you to do your story. And so last year, the first time I ever did it, the theme was I remember the moment dot dot dot. And so I was like, I thought like kind of the stories were supposed to be funny. So I went and I told the story. I was like, I remember the moment when I realized I was a failure at being a hand model.
Oh.
And I told this, the whole like just basically rigmarole of becoming one and auditioning and the whole lifestyle, and the day that I realized like I cannot do this anymore, and I have very nice hands, but I'm not going to make a living this way. And it is, it's just a very funny story. And then everyone told these very sort of emotional, sometimes traumatic stories. And they were incredible stories, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, did I make light of this theme? And then the second time I did it, it was awesome theme. That was when I came in third. It was right around Thanksgiving, and the theme was thanks but no thanks.
Okay.
And that time I told a story that was like mostly funny, but had a little bit of emotional factor to it. About like the first time I was ever laid off from a job. And most of the stories that night were funny. And I'm like, I can't seem to get this right. Like, but then I realized that, they can be whatever, like whatever, fits the theme,
Hmm.
which I don't know why I didn't realize from the beginning, but that's what makes it so entertaining is, during the night, I've cried a couple times. I've laughed so hard. I've cried. Um, there's a woman named Farah who I've seen a few times there, and she's probably my favorite storyteller.
Okay.
Her comedic timing and storytelling ability is just so fantastic. She came in first in the thanks but no thanks theme, and she was so overwhelmed. And I was like, "You were the best one!" Like she went first too, and I remember thinking, "How is anyone going to follow this story? She is so pitch perfect." And we all tried and we failed because she won first. But I was really happy. Like it's such a fun time that even if I'm not going to participate, like I enjoy going to hear everyone's story. So that's another long answer of how you can keep up with me in New Jersey. But yeah, I'm working on some stuff that I hope to be out in the world again at some point and be more, because obviously you guys aren't going to read my copywriting, and that's okay. You shouldn't. That's that's corporate stuff.
A-okay. Awesome. I'm on the socials at Brandon4KOHD. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can watch this visual version of this episode, or check out my 4K Blu-ray or DVD reviews. The documentary Doctor on Display, the USA tour, is available now from Real-Time Pictures via timetraveltv.com. And then Fantastic, a celebration of fans discovering Doctor Who, which I haven't recorded one of these since this, is now a Titan award-winning book, which means I am technically an award-winning author. I have a contribution in there, so I'm like, cool, award-winning author. Awesome for the 4-page essay I wrote. But hey, it's part of it. And congrats to all the other contributors in that book as well. It's a great book. But you can buy that from Zeppo Publishing anywhere you buy your books. And Zeppo Publishing has told me that you don't have to order from their site. They don't care where you order it from as long as you have it in your hand.
Nice.
And then next week, Patrick McGlynn from the KJ Today Show comes to us to welcome the return of the Penguin. So until then, stay film positive.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.